log in. Google's being funky.
It's always that way for you.
Not today. Like, I mean, in other other ways, it's being funky. The school. So I took digital media in middle school, and it won't. And for some reason, it's not letting me access Lightroom, which is an Adobe app. It's not letting me access Adobe. It's like, oh, log in with your
Why the
school
hell
email.
would
I'm
you
like,
want to access Adobe?
because I have photos which I took, which I want to like develop. So what? That's insane.
Is it
What do you
working?
mean? I can't. That's stupid. Let me log in. It's not letting me log in. Here, how about I sign up? Sign up with Google. Take that. I'm the. Wait 1 second. Maybe. I'm having to sign up now.
And sign up.
I'm a student. Next. Later. I don't. Okay, where is the set? What is the set called, by the way? Oh no, it's not a set. Sorry, it's
Find one. Find a random one. Discover set.
Australia. Why is my spelling so horrendous?
Also,
Hmm.
also share your screen.
Okay. All right, let's do this one. Let's see if this one's good. Okay, yeah, this one's definitely good. Okay, let's host. I
Share
shall.
your screen. Share your screen.
I shall. Got it. I can't turn on video
Why?
because it won't let me.
Okay, 1 sec. Start your video.
Is it working? Yes, okay, it is working. Time to share screen.
Someone give Ethan
Host
host, please.
disabled. Yeah,
Yeah, someone please give Ethan host. I thought it would be obvious by now that Ethan is a host, but
yeah, I thought so too. I thought it'd be obvious, guys. What do you guys want to play? Battle Royale? Put it in the chat real quick. There are several different modes we can do. Oh,
hi,
chat is disabled. Never mind.
excuse me, who's the host?
Is it Alice?
No, it's not.
All Knowledge Bridge is our host.
I have no idea who that is.
Who's Knowledge Host? Here, let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, no, it's still disabled.
Okay, well, give me 1 sec. You know what? I'm just gonna. Oh, Alice, you're the host now. There we go. Good job, Alice. Okay, share screen.
Okay, wait, let me do Battle Royale.
Okay, sure, whatever.
Royale host. And I'll put the link in there once it loads.
Whoa, some kid is being funny in the chat. Yep, I turn on camera, etc. Just on camera. You can turn on camera now.
This is the chat. This is the pin, everybody.
Can you share screen?
Manually enter it because I don't know how to do it.
Ethan, can you share screen?
Or maybe this will work. I don't know. Yes, let me share screen. I should have privilege to share the screen now. Share.
Yeah, click copy join link and then paste it there in the chat.
Do what?
Go over you see
Copy
that,
join link. Okay, yes.
yeah. No, just click on it. Don't right click it. Click it.
Oh, that's weirdly good. Where is the no? Where's the thing? I can't see. Where's the chat? Okay, here's the chat. Here, everybody. Here is the link. There we go.
And spam it.
There. We've got 10 people.
Got 10. Wait a bit more.
12 now. Everybody's being like a kangaroo or dingo. Everybody be an Australian themed thing. I dare you. Quarantine. Somebody's
Yeah.
somebody's kangaroo in a kangaroo pouch in a way.
Okay. That person is getting kicked.
Which person?
Oh, just don't ignore it.
Oh, the person that's spamming. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say the person that said that at first, but then said this. Okay, yeah, kick him.
Yep, I think they're gone. Yeah.
Nothing happened, guys. It's all good. Somebody be a platypus or something. Somebody that's not already a character. Somebody be people. Be the Australian things. What you got? What do you guys think? Australia. Like
Start.
Should I be scared of what animals you guys think live in Australia? I feel like you guys are gonna say something like dragons live in Australia. Okay, everybody join now because I'm gonna start in a couple of seconds. I'll give you guys 10 seconds.
No, start now.
6, 7,
Ethan,
8,
start it.
9, 10. Okay, you guys are screwed if you're not in.
They can join in later, I think. I don't know. No, you can't. Whatever, doesn't matter. And skip it. Skip the instruction.
Okay, you guys know how to play this.
Skip it. Skip it. We did it last.
Skip it. I have no idea which one was correct here. Number red was correct. Democracy. Australia is a democracy. This is interesting. Everybody lost energy. I'm sorry, this might not be a good one. I'm not sure though. Everybody can see the whole screen, right? What is this thing? I'm sorry, guys. What? They're all exactly the same, except for one. I think they're all. Yeah, I was gonna say only 60 answered. Okay. Come on, guys. You don't know, just click. Actually, sorry, Dave. That's an actual thing. I feel like this is a troll, like, set. Oh man, a lot of people are gonna die pretty soon. 3 energy only. Guys, don't search it up either. Just go for an answer. You don't, and if you don't know, well, then we'll learn.
Ethan, skip in, how many seconds does it give them?
I don't know. I'm not sure how to skip. I'm sorry. I'm not good at this so far.
I'm evil enough to make them get skipped, so.
Yes, you are, Nam.
Oh, it give them it give them 20, give them 10. They have 10 seconds and skip when it reach 10.
No, answers are still coming in, so.
Skip at 8 and skip. You're too darn nice.
If you don't have your answer and now you're dead.
Yeah, oh, you're such a. Ethan, skip it. Make them suffer.
Don't they will. Plus, we've got a pretty young audience, so they may also have to think about it. They may have to think about it, and they may also need time to click.
I
Yes.
bet half of them are searching the answer up right now.
Okay, you guys are gonna get 5 seconds. No searching it up. Only 7%, only one person. Oh no. I'm sorry, guys. You didn't click fast enough. Round 8. Okay, guys, let's stop at round 10. Let everybody answer this time. I'll give you guys a bit of slack on this one. Next one, we're only going until 5 seconds. I gave you guys extra time. It was just yeah. Man, some people made like a saving save. Almost dead. So like 2 people. This is the last round, so I'm skipping it. 5. Let's see. Oh, only 6 players remain. Okay, we'll do one more round. Let's see. Pretty close. I think I see. Man. Oh no, there's only 3 people left. 4, sorry. Let's see. The winner. Skipping at 10, or sorry, 5. Because we gotta make sure this goes. It's already 8:20, like
That's why I
37.
told you to skip.
Who? Let's see who wins. James wins. No, sorry. One more thing. Yeah, let's see. The final showdown. Okay, let's go. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, good job, guys.
Okay. Now that Ethan's finished, I get on with my stuff. Well then. The topic is Australia, and I see no Australian, which is like, man, I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about with Australia. This slide is so short. You can open your camera. Oh my God, who turned off the start camera ability? Yep, camera should be able to open. Ethan, not again. Stop that.
Or what is this? Demon.
Nam and Ethan. We have Michael here. So Michael is from Melbourne, Australia. So he can share
Hello,
a lot
everybody.
of information about Australia. You just
Great.
ask, give him a questions and he will answer it. Okay.
We have an Australian.
And what I don't know, I'll make up.
Okay, let's start with the cities. We have the capital of Australia, which is Canberra. Never been there.
Canberra.
Have never been to Australia. It's apparently the largest inland city and the 8th largest Australian city overall. Anyway, and then we have Melbourne. I was gonna go to Melbourne, but then stuff happened, so I didn't go. But it's the coastal capital of the southeastern Australian state of Victoria. Never been to Australia again. And then we have Sydney, which most people have heard of. It's the capital of New South Wales, one of Australia's largest city. And it's best known for the Sydney Opera House. And if you don't
Opera.
if you don't know what it looks like, you can search it up on Google. It looks like a sail, whatever. Then we have food. I've never eaten Australian food really. We have Vegemite, which is a thick dark brown spread that's made from leftover brewer's yeast extract with various vegetable and spice. Honestly, that sounds kind of gross. But
No, it is amazing. And as an Australian, I have some advice on Vegemite. The mistake that most foreigners make with Vegemite is they get like a huge amount and just lather it on top of the bread. You just want like a nice fine scraping of it. Do that and it tastes amazing.
Never tried. And
So
we
good.
have meat pie, which is pie with meat in it. It's a pie with a filling of meat and often other savory ingredients, mostly meat because it's a meat pie. And then we have fairy bread, which is just bread but sweet. It's sliced bread with butter or margarine and covered with sprinkles. To me, that sounds kind of too sweet, but whatever.
It's so good. So good.
And then we go to the animals. Maybe I should put the animals first to ruin your appetites, especially with the giant spider in the corner. We have a koala, which is an arboreal herbivorous blah 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 marsupial native to Australia. Anyway, it's that thing on the left, and all you have to know is that it looks like that. And then we have a kangaroo, which most people all know about. Yeah, it's they're marsupials from the whatever family. I'm not spelling that out, but they're like big. I don't know what to call them, but they're big creatures that hop around, and they're edible, so you can eat them. Then there's the emu, which is the second tallest living bird after the ostrich. Look at that emu. It's that bird. It can't fly. What a loser.
You're nailing this.
And then Australia is known for the spiders and snakes. That's why it's called hell on earth. So here we have the giant huntsman spider. It's also called a giant crab spider because of its size and appearance. And these things can get really, really big. Big enough to eat a possum, I think. So yeah, Australia, great place.
Everything wants to kill you.
Yes. And the people are upside down. Anyway, that's the end of the slide. So if you guys have questions, you can go ahead and ask them now, especially since we have an Australian here. So there we go.
What food do you eat in Australia?
What food do you eat in Australia?
What food or what fruit? Hello?
Food or fruit?
Yes.
Food or fruit? Repeat your question.
Said food.
Fruit?
Ah, Food.
Food.
So we eat a lot of the same things as you Americans. Like we have fast food, so we have McDonald's.
Ra em
Um,
chê bắt cái nó nè.
What?
pardon?
I'll ignore him. Keep going.
So yeah, we have a lot of the same foods. Like we have fast food like McDonald's. We have Burger King, but over here we call it Hungry Jack's. The reason for that is because somewhere in Australia, I can't remember where, but there was already a local restaurant called Burger King. And so when Burger King tried to bring Burger King over to Australia, they were like, nope, that's our name. So they had to rename it Hungry Jack's for us. We used to have Sizzlers. I think you guys have Sizzlers restaurants over in America, right? We're famous for our barbecues. Although our barbecue is just taking like, yeah, I can see you're already rolling, like scrunching your face up at that. We just tend to take a nice steak or a sausage and just throw it on the barbie. We also have, because Australia has quite a diverse population, so we get lots of people immigrating into Australia as well. So we have lots of international restaurants. So we've got lots of like Chinese restaurants, Italian restaurants, Indian restaurants, just about any food available anywhere in the world you can get in Australia. We have a very diverse cuisine over here.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for your question.
I'll move on to the polar bear.
Why do we have a chipmunk and a grandma in the class?
Just don't mind that. Just
I want to say this.
oops, my bad. Unmute yourself. There we go.
Hello, Mr. Michael. I
Hello.
have a question for you, please?
Sure thing. What would you like to ask?
Did you go to Sydney or can you tell me about some place in Australia like Sydney or some other town?
Sure. So I was born in Western Australia. So that our capital city is Perth. It's known as the most isolated city in the world because it's so far away from any other city, really. It also has a lot of beautiful beaches. So if you like to go to the beach, Perth is a great place to go for a holiday. But then last year I moved over to Melbourne, and that was mentioned in the slides a bit earlier. There are, I think there's something like 4 million people living in Melbourne. I think it's either the most or the second most populated city, or second most populated city in Australia. So tons of people around. We have a few nice beaches over here in Melbourne. I think St Kilda's one of them. I don't really go to the beach that often, so I'm not sure. What else would you like to know about Perth or Melbourne?
Whoa, that is a lot of people. So I have been watching some channel about Australia. So I hear that in Australia there are many interesting animals that can be scary or can be friendly. Can you name for me some that friendly and scary?
Oh, okay. So I'll tell you about two of our friendliest animals first. So the first friendly animal is called a quokka. Um, they are mostly on Rottnest Island. So over in Western Australia, if you take a ferry, it's about a 1.5 or a 2 hour ride on a ferry. You go across to Rottnest Island, and there's just tons of quokkas all over the place.
Oh, I know that animal.
Yes.
I know that a baby koala is called a joey, right?
No, a baby kangaroo is called a joey,
Oh,
but not a koala. They're actually one of the scary ones. I'll tell you about those in a minute. A quokka, which is spelled Quokka.
a coca, not a cola, right?
Yes, correct. A koala bear is different. They're one of the scary ones I'll tell you about.
No, I think
Um,
that is cute.
They
Yeah,
look
just
cute, but
scratch
they're
and bite you.
terrifying. Exactly. I'll tell you all about those in a minute. But the quokkas on Rottnest Island, because they don't have any natural predators, because there's not a lot of wildlife on Rottnest, they've just gotten completely they're just completely tame, and they absolutely love all of the people and all of the tourists that go to Rottnest. So if you ever go to Rottnest Island and you see a little quokka, you can just walk right up to it and pet it, and they'll be happy and they'll be really friendly. Um, Another friendly one, at least in my personal experience, I got to take care of a joey for a week. So I got to take care of a baby kangaroo. I see Ethan's mouth just fell open. So what happened was, my girlfriend at the time, her parents lived in a country town, which was about 2 hours away from where my girlfriend and I were living. And her mum was the librarian there. She used to run the library, and she needed to transfer to the library in Perth for a week. So rather than drive 2 hours to the library and 2 hours home every day, she just came up and stayed in Perth City for the week. And she was taking care of a joey. So because she had to work, and we had the week off because we were studying at the time, we got to keep the joey for a week. So we got to feed it, and we used to take him for walks. We used to take him for walks around the backyard, well, hops in his case. We used to take him for walks around the backyard. Her mum had made this little pretend pouch for it to kind of be in, because you'd know the kangaroos have the pouches in their bellies for the joeys. It was made out of a sleeping bag, and that sleeping bag was put inside a nappy bag that you'd used to carry around baby supplies for babies. And yeah, the joey would just hop in this little pretend pouch, and we'd zip it up, and we'd just hang it over our shoulder, and we'd take it wherever we went with us for the week. It was absolutely great. But yeah, very, very friendly that joey was. Although if you ever see a kangaroo in the wild, don't go near it. If you are on YouTube, search up kangaroo boxing. You'll see what I'm talking about. Kangaroos can get quite aggressive.
Ah,
Yeah, but some of the scary ones, I would say the first one is actually the koala bear. So while they're very, very cute, when you see them in pictures and in videos, and you look at them and, oh, that's adorable. But then you look at their hands and you see their claws are like that big. Yeah, they're in fact, we Australians, as a joke, whenever we meet, whenever tourists come over, and if ever they ask an Australian, what's something fun to do, or what's something, what should we watch out for, or anything like that, Australians have a joke where we'll say, oh, you should go on a hike somewhere. but be careful of those drop bears. And then the tourists go, oh, what's a drop bear? And yeah, then we basically just tell them what koalas are really like. If they feel threatened, they get very, very vicious. As well as the big long claws, they also have really, really sharp teeth, and they can go quite feral. So admire koalas from a distance. Yeah. And other scary things, I would say 99.9% of the snakes and spiders in the country are terrifying. They're usually quite small, apart from like the huntsman's, which we saw could get quite big. But pretty much every spider and snake in this country are venomous. So if you get bitten, they will poison you. So yeah, lots of nice, friendly things, but also lots of scary, killy things in Australia.
I hear koala now. I don't think that's a cute animal anymore.
Pardon?
But if I have pets back from Australia, I think I'll use a kangaroo. That is cute. Actually, really cute, and is can jump high and have a lot of interesting things and facts to do. So, if I can have a pet in Australia, I'll actually choose a kangaroo. Thank you about sharing that animal and the place in Australia.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your wonderful question.
Great. Next, Margaret.
Okay, so my question is that what do you think are some good places to visit in Australia that you would really like to visit?
Ooh. So Australia is a very interesting country in the terms of its landscape. So if you have a look at you'll see that all of the major cities tend to be located around the outside of the border of the country, because everything in the middle is pretty much like dry, barren desert land. So if you prefer spending your time in, like, I don't really know what to call it. I suppose I'd say like, if you prefer spending your time in cities, where it's more like built up and you want to experience the culture of like most Australians, then I would say in Queensland, there's a great place called Surfers Paradise. Some of the best beaches in the world. It's the city there is absolutely beautiful. It really matches, or it really goes well with the beach that it's basically built on. So you know, lots of nice restaurants. There's some awesome theme parks as well. Although I think those theme parks are American. So they've got like Warner Brothers Movie World, Sea World. They've got a water slide park as well. So that's a fantastic place to visit. You get a very, very varied experience in Surfers Paradise. Melbourne's quite a nice place as well. Melbourne tends to be the main part of Australia where people immigrate to. So there's a very, very diverse population of people here. So Melbourne's kind of like, I'd say, an international hub. So you could like come here, walk down the street, and you could get a cheeseburger. Then in the next shop, you could get a bowl of pho. Walk into the next shop, you can go get some brisket or some American barbecue, and that's just a really really nice place where you can get just about anything, meet and talk to all sorts of people. Yeah, or I'd say the good thing about Perth in Western Australia as well is you're a bit young for this, but we have some very nice vineyards over there. Actually, the Swan Valley is known internationally for the quality of the wine that they produce there. There's also some quite nice country towns you can visit all across Australia. So if you go a little bit more inland from the sea, that's where you start to get more country towns. So because there's not as many people in those country towns, it's not as built up. But even so, it's still only like a couple of hours drive to get from one type of location to another. So yeah, it's not as if you've got to drive like 10 hours to go from one place to another. Everything's quite accessible. Oh, last but not least, Sydney. That's probably the most famous one. Sydney is I would say Sydney is the rich part of the country. So like some of the world's most expensive real estate is in Sydney. You've got lots of famous landmarks there as well to check out, like Sydney Opera House. You've got the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And yeah, just again, more beautiful beaches and just a lot of people to meet and talk to and just experience the culture.
Okay, so what is your favorite place to visit in Australia then?
To visit for a short holiday, definitely Queensland. So Surfers Paradise, absolutely beautiful place to spend a couple of weeks. But my favorite place to live, I actually have to say I'm getting a little bit homesick. And I'll actually be moving back to Perth in the next, I'd say 3 to 4 months.
So I have learned on social study that says that there's a pink lake in Australia or something.
Oh yes, I have heard about that as well. You'll have to forgive me. I don't quite know everything about Australia, but let me have a quick little. Ah.
Oh.
Speaking of Western Australia, but yeah, so the Pink Lake, it's now called Pink Lake. It used to be known as Lake Spencer. It's a salt lake in the goldfields in the Esperance region of Western Australia. So the reason that it is pink is because of the high salt content in the water.
Okay, so what do you like or dislike about Australia?
Kind of. This is going to be a strange answer, but my favorite thing about Australia, or both my favorite and the thing that I don't like about Australia, is the size of the population. So our country is roughly the same size. I think it's just a tiny little bit smaller than the United States of America that we were talking about last week. America has about 360 million people in it. Australia, a country roughly the same size, only has about 25 million people living in it. So at times that can be great because the traffic's never too bad. It's not super crowded, but at the same time, that doesn't afford us some of the same opportunities as countries like America. So it's like I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of an example. When I think of one, I'll come back to that. But yeah, I would say the size of the population. So I used to be a dance teacher. Excuse me 1 minute. I will be right back. I'm going to answer this question.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm back. I was just getting secretly videoed. But yeah, so for example, I used to be a dance teacher. And so I used to dance with some of my students at competitions, things like that. In America, because there's so many people, even activities like dancing that by comparison aren't that popular, you can still get, like upwards of 5,000 to 10,000 people entering into a dance competition over there. In Australia, for example, that same competition would maybe get 50, anywhere from about 50 to 150 people entering. So because of the fact that we have such a smaller population, certain activities don't get much attention. So that can affect the quality of some events or some things that we can do. My
Okay,
gosh, we have two squirrels in the class now.
that is all of my questions. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
The grandma.
Hi, Nana.
I have a questions for you. Do Australians eat kangaroos?
Yes.
Not many of us, but some of us do. So kangaroo meat is mostly eaten by people that hunt kangaroos. So it's more eaten by people that live in more country towns. It is available to a very small degree in some supermarkets, but it's definitely eaten way more by the people that would go out and hunt for it.
That's all. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for your question.
Little Michael.
So Australia have a history of fighting animals such as bunnies and
Emu war.
Yes.
Lost to emus.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I have heard all about this emu war. I actually remember talking about it with a friend of mine sometime last year. But where is it here? I'm going to get my facts here so I don't misrepresent anything. So basically what was happening was emus were becoming a pest in Australia. And there was a lot of public concern over it. This was back in 1932. So this was about 90 years ago this happened. And so what happened was they were getting to be such a problem that Australia actually got its army to try and solve the problem. And yes, it's actually quite sad to admit that while we did handle some of the problem, the birds, the emus won. We did not wipe out the problem completely, and the emus still continued to eat our crops. So yeah, that was the story of the time that Australia lost a war to emus.
Yeah.
We're so thankful to have America for allies.
So Australia also have a spider town, yeah, that cover in spider. So did they build a town next to somewhere near that so people could go in and live?
I actually haven't heard about this spider town, but let me have a quick look. Ah. Wow. I'm trying to yeah, so there was a town in Australia called Wagga Wagga.
Well, oh, okay. Great, he's back.
I am so sorry about that. I don't know why I got disconnected.
Great, there we go.
But yes, how much of the description of Wagga Wagga did you get?
Excuse
Pardon?
Michael? No,
Hello?
Michael.
what did you say?
How much of the description of Wagga Wagga did you hear?
Just a name.
So sorry about that. I went to have a look at the information on that to tell you about it properly. So Wagga Wagga was a town in Australia that suffered quite severe water damage. So I think there was a flood or something like that happened. And everyone that was living in Wagga Wagga moved away, obviously, because the whole town was water damaged, and just a whole bunch of spiders moved in. And there were that many spiders that they have just completely covered the entire town in their spider webs. Some of these stories make us sound like our country's from a sci-fi movie or something. But yeah, spiders took over a whole town and covered it in spider webs. But they're not poisonous spiders. It's just there's that many that it's just become too much of a problem for anybody to move back.
Okay, last question. Is Australia have a low crime rate?
Overall, it's we're definitely not a country that is overrun with crime. Much like any other country, really, we have areas that are very, very, or like almost crime-free, and we have some parts of the country that are there's a lot of crime that goes on. I think it's more to do with the socio-economic situation in the area. So if it's an upper class suburb, there tends to be less crime because everybody living there has the money to live a good life, so they don't need to steal and hurt people to get what they want or anything like that. Whereas some of the poorer suburbs, where people don't have a lot of money, they tend to commit more crimes because out of necessity. But overall, as a country, no, Australia doesn't have a high crime rate.
Okay. Can you name me some dangerous Australian sea animals? Not the buff.
Dangerous Australian sea animals. So there is the blue-ringed octopus. So that octopus has quite literally these little blue rings on its body, and just by touching it with bare skin is enough to get stung, and it basically transmits poison from its skin, and once it gets on you, it can be lethal. I don't think it is lethal in all situations, but it can be deadly. We have the great white shark the great white shark. Yeah, I think we have great whites over here. I'm going to minimize this and hopefully I don't get disconnected again. No, we're still there. Dangerous Australian sea animals. Okay, so I mentioned the blue-ringed octopus. We also have box jellyfish. They one little sting isn't bad, but
Box jellyfish.
Yeah, but they tend to they tend to kind of cluster together in the sea in large numbers. So if you get stuck in a hole, like if you get stuck in a big group of them and you get lots and lots and lots of stings, then it can be quite lethal. We of course not so much the sea, more just like rivers and lakes, but we have crocodiles, and I don't think we have alligators, but we have a lot of crocodiles in Australia. They're very, very dangerous. Let's see here. I just learned that the box jellyfish is about the same size as your one of your fingernails, very, very small.
Hmm.
Ooh. Stingrays. We have a lot, we can have a lot of stingrays in our, I think they're considered, no, they're more considered up north in Queensland, I think the more tropical regions. But stingrays, they have these giant long tails on them that they basically just attack you with. Have any of you guys heard of the crocodile hunter, Steve Irwin?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, he was
died.
a national treasure. He was a wildlife conservationist, so he and his family ran the Australia Zoo. He used to travel all over the country trying to educate people. He had a TV show. He used to educate people about the wildlife in Australia. And he was killed by a stingray. It's what?
Yep.
Yeah. The stinger went right through his chest, and he's not with us anymore, quite sadly. Yes, we do have sharks in Australia. They tend to be in the sea the most. I think we all know what sharks are like, but we tend to have bull sharks, tiger sharks, and it only says white sharks, not great white sharks. Ooh. We also have sea snakes. So we actually have snakes that live in the sea. So there are about 31 different species of them, and they're all venomous. However, most of
Australia is built to kill you.
them, so yeah, they try to not make contact. And we also have sea urchins too. I don't even know how to describe them. They're kind of like these little black balls with lots of spikes coming out of them. Excuse me. And yes, most of them are venomous, but not all of them. But the spikes that they have on them can be very, very dangerous. So you still need to be careful of them if you're ever in the sea.
Okay, that's a lot. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your question, Michael.
Great. Next, Lucy. Lucy. Lucy.
Michael, what's your favorite food in
What's my favorite food?
Australia?
I think my favorite Australian food is a meat pie. Most specifically a shepherd's pie that has potato on top of it. Very, very nice. But my favorite food that I can get in Australia is actually Thai green chicken curry. Hello.
Lucy.
And what's your favorite animal?
Ooh, my favorite animal. Dogs.
Hmm.
Your favorite stuff. It's your favorite stuff.
My favorite what?
But I was just kidding.
Okay.
I just said Your favorite stuff is your stuff.
Sorry, could you say that again, Lucy?
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you for your questions.
Okay. Luna.
Oh, Michael.
Hi, Luna. How are you?
Michael, what part of Australia are you now? Even you are in Australia. Where are you exactly?
So I am, so at the moment, I'm in Melbourne, which is the capital city of Victoria. So Victoria is a state in Australia. It's on the east coast, right down the bottom. So yeah, so right now I am in the bottom right part of the country.
That, what do you think are the best views in Australia?
The best views?
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a good one. There are too many of them to tell you about all of them, but a couple of my favorite are, I can't even remember the name of the place, but there is this absolutely beautiful, I suppose it's a forest. Lots of people like to go there to go on like nature walks. Some people go for runs and jogs through there for exercise. But there's this giant staircase, takes you about 20 minutes to walk all the way up it. And just the views from the top, of that are just absolutely beautiful. You just see like lots of trees, beautiful rock formations, and it's just a truly lovely place to go. If you just want to go and just relax and just see some beautiful landscapes.
Wow. Okay. Then which is your favorite animal in Australia? Your favorite animal?
So my favorite Australian animal, I would have to say, is a kangaroo, because I have gotten to take care of one before.
Popular.
Pardon?
I said they're popular, right?
They are. But like I say, if they are, if you see them in the wild, admire them from far away, because they can get very aggressive if you get too close to them and they start to feel threatened. But to look at them, they're very cute.
They challenge you to a box match.
Yeah, and kangaroo boxing. So as you've seen in pictures, kangaroos have really short arms, but really, really big legs. So kangaroo boxing is basically they grab a hold of you with their arms, they keep their tails on the ground for support, and then they'll just kick you with both of their legs. And they are very, 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 very strong.
That's more like kicking than boxing.
I know, but that's just what we call kangaroo boxing, because that's how they fight. That's how they be aggressive.
They should call that hand football.
Kangaroo kickboxing, maybe.
Then which is your least favorite sea animal?
My least favorite sea animal, I would say the box jellyfish, because when I was little, I went to the beach. Stung by... Yeah, even though I had a full wetsuit on, so like one of those suits that you wear when you go swimming, when you go surfing, sorry. So my arms and my legs, my body, everything was completely covered, but they still managed to sting me, and I ended up with a very, 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 very painful rash, like all over my chest and my arms, I think, for about a week afterwards.
That's how they sting him.
Pardon?
What jellyfish sting their tentacles?
That's right.
I'm not
And they
talking
don't,
to
I know, I'm just agreeing with you, to whoever you're talking to that's off camera.
She's talking to Lucy.
Hello, Lucy.
You just talked to her earlier.
I know.
Don't you know we're sisters?
Okay, is that all, Luna?
Box. Which is the largest Australian animal?
Ooh, the largest Australian animal. Give me
A second.
2 seconds.
Ha ha.
2 seconds.
More like a whole hour.
I'm not that slow, am I?
Maybe. Buddy.
Ah,
Don't keep saying ah.
because I just figured out the answer. Well, I just read the answer. So the red kangaroo is the largest of all terrestrial animals in Australia.
What's
Terrestrial.
the red kangaroo? A red kangaroo that has a mom that teach her to box.
I don't know. I don't know how they learn to box. Whether it's the mum or the dad that teaches them.
I guess they evolved from boxing gloves.
No, I don't think they wear boxing gloves on their feet.
I said they evolved from boxing gloves. And they should call that boxing shoes anyway. Anyway, for now on, they should be called boxy because they're all boxy gloves. Boxy kangaroo gloves. Thanks, Michael.
You're very welcome. And yes, they should be.
Yeah, and box. Goodbye. Try boxing with them.
But I don't want to. I'll get hurt. You see me with like, I'll be missing one arm and I'll have bruises all over my face if I try and box with a kangaroo.
Missing one leg.
Yeah, missing a leg as well.
Okay, I guess that's that. Alice.
Hello, Mr. Michael.
Hello, Alice.
Can I ask you a question about the trending industry for girls in Australia?
The what industry in Australia?
The trendy industry for girls in Australia. What is the trending industry for girls?
Ah, the trendy industry. I don't actually know. Australia, people just kind of tend to go into whatever jobs they like doing as individuals. There's no real, I suppose, trendy industry to go into. It's just whatever each individual person likes. And we have women in Australia doing all sorts of jobs. We have everything from doctors to lawyers, nurses, accountants. We even have some women working in the mines. We have women truck drivers, dance teachers, pretty much any job that you can think of, women do over here, apart from working in the sewers because that smells really bad. But just about everything else, women will go into it if they're interested in it.
Yeah, but what's the most popular?
Ah, the profession with the highest. I'm going to need to search this quite specifically. Give me just one moment.
Yeah.
All right. Huh.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, sorry, I'm still looking for the answer to your question.
Yeah, but
Hey, wait, you're using a device?
I am on a Samsung tablet for this Zoom call, and I'm also using it to browse the internet.
Hi, Paul.
Hello?
yeah.
I know how kangaroos learn to walk.
You figured it out?
But the kangaroo mom stands in front of the baby and fox, and the baby follows and falls, and they box each other to die.
Ah.
I gave her that idea, but I didn't say kill.
She just decided to tack that on herself, did she?
Ah.
All right, so it looks like, based on the information that I have managed to discover, some of the most popular jobs for women in Australia, or the jobs that have the highest concentration of women in them, I'll give you a few of them. We've got child carers, receptionists,
Oh,
nursing. We've got office managers, primary school teachers, and accounting clerks.
so we can like the trending industry in Australia.
I would say the trending industry would either be like management or like education for children.
Oh yeah. And how can I when I go study there? Can I
You'd be,
work while I'm studying?
could you ask that again? Sorry, the something froze and I didn't catch that.
Can I while I'm studying in Australia? Can I also work?
Oh, absolutely. That's actually how a lot of university students put themselves through university. They'll get jobs to earn money so they can afford to live while they're studying.
Like part-time jobs.
Can all of them manage the work and study as well?
It will be a very busy schedule. You'll have to manage your time very carefully, but it's very doable. If you put in the effort to really schedule your time, it's very doable.
All right. And when I finish studying in Australia, how can I settle in Australia?
Depending on your on the visa that you need to get, but a lot of university students, a lot of international university students get offered. Some of them get offered jobs right out of university. And the most important thing to do would be to look for a job that sponsors people to basically begin their pathway to citizenship. So you'd first become what's the word I'm looking for? So yeah, you'd first just stay here and work with sponsorship. Then you'd become a permanent resident. And then I think it's somewhere between 7 to 12 years after that, you can apply for citizenship.
Like what job?
So while you're studying?
No, like to like settle in Australia.
Well, what would you be studying in Australia? That's probably the first question to ask.
I think I'm going to study about financial.
Yep. So something like that, you could, straight out of university, you could maybe get a job in a bank. You could become an accountant. There's definitely businesses with financial departments that you could work in. Yeah, really, a job like that comes down to, first of all, what you study, and yeah, if there's any openings in that job market once you finish studying. Sometimes people do have to, just for the first little bit, sometimes people do have to take jobs in other industries for a while until they can find an opening in their chosen field. But that doesn't happen all that often. Most of the time, people tend to get straight to work in the industry that they studied in.
Yes, thank you for answering my questions.
You're very welcome. Thank you for asking, Alice.
Michael,
Hello.
are you in love with Australia?
Am I in love with Australia? I wouldn't say that I'm in love with Australia, but I feel very, very privileged to live here. I think it is a great country that offers a lot of opportunity to live a very wonderful life.
Okay, so I have a big question of you. Firstly, somebody I've listened to a lot of people saying that some facts in Australia, and the interesting fact is the kangaroo here is 50 million, and if you compare with 25 million of Australia population, so the population is 2 times human population in Australia. So is that true or false, or just a fake?
You actually cut out a lot while you were asking that. Could you say that again, please?
Actually, I'm hearing the fact that there are 15 millions of kangaroos and 25 millions of population in Australia. So, is that so? About that, is this the information right or wrong?
I will find that out for you right now. Yes, it turns out that there is an estimated population of 50 million kangaroos in Australia. In the last 10 years, that number has actually doubled in the last 10 years. So about 10 years ago, there were only about 25 million kangaroos in Australia. So yeah, and that is a scary thought. And it makes me happy that they all live in the outback, because I don't think most Australians could take on one kangaroo by themselves, let alone two.
Michael,
Yes.
do kangaroos eat pretzels?
Could you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
Can kangaroos eat pretzels?
Can kangaroos?
Can kangaroos eat pretzels? I
It's
think
just
she
that-
said kangaroos wrestle.
Ah, apparently that's not what she said. I'm still going to answer that question. No,
I
they
said-
can't.
Can kangaroos eat pretzels?
No.
Pretzels?
Pretzels?
Eat pretzels. I think they will die.
No, kangaroos cannot eat pretzels.
I think they will die.
Yeah.
I figured
I
out
don't.
my word so many times.
You what?
Why can you figure my words so many times?
Because your pronunciation was just that bad. Oh, got it.
Actually, no. Well, that's about half of the reason. But your microphone was very, very quiet and very, very crackly. So I couldn't
was-
hear you very well.
Kangaroos. That's all? I heard something like that.
But no, kangaroos cannot eat pretzels, and no, kangaroos cannot wrestle.
They're out there in the living room, Luna. Hey, Michael, you said you took a kangaroo for walks earlier.
Yes, so
I think you got that one wrong. I think you should have said you took that kangaroo for hops.
exactly. But just quickly though, the reason that the baby kangaroo, the Joey, was so like the reason that we could do that is because it was a baby. It hadn't grown up around other kangaroos, so it was used to being around humans at that time, so it wasn't scared of us, so it didn't feel the need to protect itself. Whereas if you were to see a grown-up kangaroo in the wild, those kangaroos have grown up around other kangaroos, so it would be scared of anyone or anything that's not a kangaroo, so it would get defensive, and then it would defend itself, and it would grab a hold of you and try and kick you with its legs.
Okay, so can I ask you that you know that Canberra is the official capital of Australia, and like in many countries like Hanoi, like this is the capital, so you have a lot of population. So also in Ho Chi Minh is the two cities got a lot of population, but in Australia, Canberra only have a population of 300,000, and the two largest population in Australia is Sydney and Melbourne, with estimated population of more than 4 million people in there. So why is that happening?
Why is that?
Yes.
So I'm going to double check my answer while I'm giving it. But Melbourne and Sydney, they're just, well, Melbourne was, I think, one of the very first parts of Australia that was settled and like turned into a colony and then built up into a city over time. So Melbourne and Sydney have just been being that they were built up a long time ago in the early days of Australia. And ever since then, because they were already pre-existing, lots of people just went there and it just built up bigger and bigger and bigger. Whereas I'm going to search up Canberra now. I think Well, what I was going to say was wrong. I'm glad I looked that up. Oh,
Michael,
hello.
Australia?
Pardon?
Have you ever been to Australia?
Have I ever been to Australia?
Okay, I think I'm gonna shut off Lucy after that, or who's because you've been asking so many questions. So go ahead, ask that question, Lucy, and then. Oh, never mind. She perished.
She gone.
Okay. E. Let's start with you and then.
Hello, Michael.
Hello.
I heard you said you're from Perth, so I would like to know something about the education, such as the primary and secondary schools, because I intend to bring my families and settle down there. So can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So or at least the primary school that I went to in Perth it was actually very, very nice. I'm going to have to ask for more specifics. What would you like to know about them specifically, or else I'm just going to waffle on about them?
I just want to know some general aspect about these schools. Are they like more stressful for kids to go to school, or are they as good as those in big cities like in Sydney or Melbourne?
To be completely honest, I don't have anything to compare the primary schools to over here in Melbourne, having not really experienced them myself. But generally speaking, kids tend to go to the primary schools in the suburbs that they live in for the most part, because we actually do have quite a high standard of public schools over here. So like there's no real need for kids to kind of travel too far to go to a school in a better suburb. Like the quality of the education is quite good. There's lots of, or at least back when I was there, oh, that was about 25 years ago. I feel old. But yeah, there were always lots of like chances for an excursion. So we were like, we'd go to the zoo to learn about animals. We'd go to a place called SciTech, which is like it's basically like a big science laboratory for children.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So there'd be excursions to all sorts of places like that. So we'd get a real chance to really immerse ourselves in the learning. The teachers actually really care about their students, so they'll really put in that effort to. Again, this is all experience from when I was in primary school. But yes, like the teachers would really take the time to help the students out if they didn't understand something. There were lots of chances to ask questions. The kids were encouraged to play together, to learn all of their important social skills and everything like that. So yeah, the primary schools are absolutely fantastic. It was when my first 2 years of high school was spent at private schools. That was great. Obviously, being a private school, you get a lot of attention as well, so that was fantastic. My final 3 years of high school were in a public school. That's where it kind of went to hell a little bit. But yeah, if your kids are in primary school, you've got years before you need to worry about that. But primary schools are fantastic.
Okay, it's good to hear that, because the big one is only in the first grade only.
Yep.
The second one is preschool. So I think if it's going well, so maybe, sorry, if it's going well, so maybe I will settle down there in the next 1 or 2 years.
You're frozen. There you go. You're back.
Oh, okay, sorry. My kid just touched the phone and it dropped. I'm preparing paperwork to try to settle down there. So if it's going well, so maybe I will settle down there in the next 1 or 2 years.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I love Australia actually. So this maybe it will answer the Alice question. She wants to know how to immigrate in Australia. Actually, besides about the sponsorship that you talked about,
Yep.
actually there's other many kinds of visa that you can apply for. Like in my case, this is visa 189. My advice, you can go to the website of Australia, that called the Department of Home Affairs or immigration website. You can search for that, and there are a lot of kinds of visa there. In my case, it's called independent skilled visa. So I don't need any sponsorship, but you need to get enough points so you can settle down there. So yeah, so that's why I'm trying to collect more information, especially from native person like you in Perth, actually, especially in Perth, because my friend talked to me a lot about Perth, and it's beautiful and everything is perfect, even for kids.
Yeah, well, Perth is definitely, I would say, probably the best place in Australia for families with young children if you're looking to immigrate, because it's just such a big place that, again, it's not overcrowded, it's not crazy or anything like that, and yeah, it's just a really, it really does have more of like a relaxed family vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
And just that's and just 2 seconds here. For anybody looking to immigrate to Australia, everything you need to know is in the link to the website I just put in the chat.
There, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you can search a lot of information there, and you can even launch the application by yourself. You don't need to go through any agents, but you need to read a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you need to make sure you're absolutely correct with everything, because any mistakes you make, like any large government, any mistakes you make will bring the application process to a grinding halt until they can find a specific place your application is, dig it out of the pile, fix that mistake, put it back on top of the pile, and then you start going through it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's better to know what we're doing, but it takes time and costs a lot actually if you make it wrong. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you a lot, Michael.
Very welcome. Thank you for your question.
Okay, last person. Weird. Oops, my bad. Weird.
I think we over time, so maybe wrap up now, Nam and Ethan. Yeah,
I think so too.
Okay. So what is the topics for next week, please?
I have no idea. Children, suggestion if you have it in the chat, please.
Another country?
No.
No? Don't want a country?
Oh, by the way, to all of the lovely children in this class, if you are interested in learning a little bit more about Australia, but are interested in doing so by watching a cartoon, it's a children's show, but I absolutely love it. Hey, Min. But yeah, I absolutely love this show. It's called Bluey. Bluey. It's like one of my favorite shows in the whole world. It is a total kid show. It was made for children, I think about anywhere from about 2 years old to about 6 or 7 years old. But it's just absolutely fantastic. And it is a very, very very accurate representation of family life in Australia. But again, it is a cartoon and all the characters are dogs.
Hi-Fi. You know that
Yeah,
that
Hi-Fi.
music film, yeah.
High five and there's a lot.
ABC, yeah, a lot of ABC. So Michael, that is a good suggestion. So maybe next week topic, Nam and Ethan, is about the children TV show. So then,
Oh my gosh. All right,
What-
yep.
What
Yeah.
children TV show?
I'm writing
So
it down
kids,
now.
kids TV show. Is it okay, Nam?
Sure, but I have no idea about any children TV show. So
So you can go and
Oh,
do your
Bluey.
Mickey Mouse in America, for example. I know in Australia there is like Hi-Fi. There are many of them. Yeah,
okay.
and then the kids in Vietnam we mentioned about the program. I have no idea what program in Vietnam, but I guess that there are a few of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
Alice, what children's TV show in Vietnam is like The Voice Kids?
Sorry, I don't watch any cartoons in Vietnam. I only watch English.
Okay, all right. Yeah, James, what children TV show in Vietnam?
I don't know.
You don't know. All of them watch the English one. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Time to say goodbye.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Bye. Bye,
Yes.
guys.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Nam, Ethan, Michael, and all the children who stay until now to participate till almost 2 hours in this
And-
speech club.
And thank you for your wonderful questions today.
Right.
Bye.
All right.
Bye,
good night.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Say goodbye, teacher.
See you, Michael.
See you guys.